Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today I'm out throwing an A-rig, and frankly, it's not working. One of my favorite springtime baits, but it was working yesterday. We actually got a couple really big ones. Today, not happening. So let me get to a calmer spot, and I want to talk to you guys about underspins and about how to take these fish when they get into kind of a negative mood and turn them back into feeding fish. I'll check in with you in a minute. Today, we're gonna talk about underspins. We're actually gonna go out and fish with them too, but before we do that, we'll talk about them a little bit. Underspins, you know, what is the deal? Why an underspin? Why not a swim bait? Why is it a big deal now? Isn't that some ancient bait? Underspins seem to come and go with the fishing industry. You ever notice that? I mean, when I was a kid, that little horsey head, people were all about that thing, and then it was gone. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, it comes back. Underspins seem to be on this giant boom again. There are so many of them on the market. What is the deal? That's what this video is about. We're gonna go out, we're gonna catch some fish on them. I hope. I haven't actually done that part yet. I assume we're gonna go out and catch some fish on them. We're sure gonna try. But with all the underspins on the market, it's hard to know which ones to put your money and your time into. So I'll just give you my 2 cents. There are essentially 4 underspins that I use. First one is this little tiny one. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw this in the mouth of a giant the other day. This is a little Cool Baits underspin. Tiny, tiny, tiny. 1/8 ounce head. I don't know if you can see just how light wire this hook is. It is light wire. You're talking spinning rod or ultra light bait caster, 6 pound, 8 pound line. But when the going gets tough, that is a killer. Now, why underspins in the first place? The beauty of an underspin is that it takes all the fish fooling power of a swim bait, and it just gives it a little something extra. Sort of like a swim jig does. We've talked in the past about secondary action. That is a real fish in the water. It's got its gills moving, it's got its scales flashing in the sunlight, all sorts of different things going on. Fins are flickering, in addition to that tail kick. And a swim bait only gives you that tail kick. So when we talk about a swim jig, you know that skirt moving and pulsing, it gives you that secondary action. Well, an underspin is another option to get secondary action, and you get it out of that blade. It gives you that extra flash, that little something extra. That's all it is, just a little something extra. But the effectiveness of that is amazing. It's almost like throwing a spinnerbait, right? I got a spinnerbait laying down here. Essentially, it's just like throwing a spinnerbait, except that when you go with an underspin, everything is a little finessier. So when do you throw it? You throw it anywhere you would throw a spinnerbait, anywhere you would throw a swim bait, but you do it when things are a little tough and you need to get a bite. And the beauty of an underspin is they catch giants. I had a client stick one over 11 with me early last year on that one right there. Just a monster fish. The underspin truly shines around bait fish. And the reason why is that if you come in with a little swim bait and you go throw that into a school of shad or little minnows, whatever they might be, you're just another minnow. And you will catch fish, it will work. But if you throw one with some flash, with that extra something, now you're the minnow that stands out from the crowd. And it is deadly effective. So out here where I live on Clearlake, we're in the middle of a shad boom. The shad are just coming back full swing. And Tim and I have both noticed that if we add some flash to our baits, we're catching way more fish because we stand out from the crowd. So underspins, spinner baits, whatever it may be, just getting that extra flash. So the specific ones that I'm throwing, I told you that Cool Baits, and I pair these up a lot of the time with a Kitech or Reaction Innovations, a little dipper, something like that. Just a little tiny swim bait. Awesome, awesome way to stick them. Next one, my main underspin for bigger fish is that Blade Runner. And we'll give you links to all this stuff in the bio. The baits, the heads, all that stuff. So you don't have to go try and track it down, figure out what we're using. But this is the Blade Runner. Comes in larger sizes, like 3/8, half, 3/4, 1 ounce. So I fish this anytime the shad are bigger. I'll put a 4/8 Kitech on the back of this. I'll go down as far as a 4.3, but that's about it. And just a slow roll. That's the beauty of the underspin too. With that blade flash, you don't have to do a whole lot. So throw it out. We mentioned in the video a couple days ago about how you get down under the bait on schooling fish, and this is one of those baits. You just throw it out, count it down, and just roll it underneath, and you're the shad that stands out from the crowd, so it's just deadly effective. What I like about the Blade Runner is I have a much stouter hook, so I can throw this on 15-pound, 20-pound. This guy, the Owner Flashy Swimmer, is a weedless. Essentially the exact same thing, but weedless presentation. So I can throw it in and around cover, throw it in the tules, throw it in the grass, whatever may be in front of me. But I also like it if I'm gonna get down at creek bottom, down through the rocks, down through the wood, and just barely turn that handle. And sometimes, I swear, I run this thing so slow, the blade isn't even working. But I think what it does down in those rocks is it's clacking, and it's just that something extra, and it pulls those fish in. It's another deadly option. And then the fourth way, and we mentioned this in a video about a year ago, I'm gonna hit it again. The Matt Allen swim bait head. Obviously I love that head, that's my head, from Dirty Jigs. This one's all beat up too. Got a bunch of fish on this week. But you pair that up, and I'm just talking about this one because that's the one I throw, obviously, but if you have a swim bait head that you love and you've got a ton of confidence in and you want to underspin, Pro Point Lures or a couple of others, I'll give you links to them. They make blades on a screw, and you just literally put that right into the belly of your bait. So you don't have to find some new underspin. Get that dialed, lined up. You don't have to find some new underspin. You can take a head that you already like and get that profile, get that action, get that flash in a head that you're already confident with. So those are the 4 ways that I do it. From that little tiny cool baits all the way up to that big heavy Blade Runner, weedless, and then with my own head, screwing that guy in there so I can get the exact action, because my heads, they have the exact hooks I wanted, right, for different things. So when I get into a situation where one of the others doesn't work, I just screw right in. I've got exactly what I need for the situation. So we're gonna get out, chase some of these fish around. We'll see how it goes. I'll check back in with you. But I hope that information helps. I hope that makes sense for you guys. You need to try an underspin. They go in and out of vogue, in and out of popularity, but it is a deadly way to stick bass, especially when they get a little finicky, but they're still around bait. slab crappie. A bonus fish on that little cool bait. So guys, essentially what's going on, why this underspin is shining, because you see me fishing like out in the middle of nowhere. We've been talking to you for a while about how Clearlake is flooding. If you watch a lot of the videos, you know that. But now the water's receding, which is awesome for these homeowners and for us, me getting back to work as a guide. But when that water starts dropping, it's been at flood stage so long that these fish have moved up and followed that water. Now that it's dropping, you know, fish will immediately go out and suspend. Now here, some of these bays that we're in, they're just big mud flats, so the fish really don't have the option to suspend effectively, but they will back out. They'll back out to hard cover, so to the ends of docks or to the ends of tule lines or out onto rock piles, wherever they can get. And that's why this underspin is working, because these fish have backed out and essentially are suspending even if they can't suspend, and are really in a negative mood. They don't want to feed, and that underspin comes along. It looks right, it's got that nice subtle action, and you can pick them off even during tough conditions. So there's a boulder up here. I just threw this underspin up there. As it was sinking, just had a stud just smash it and rip off like a Senko bite, just take off with it off the back of that boulder and left me dragging right across the top of that rock. I'm so, can you see this? I am so frayed up. Oh, I never even stood a chance. I just got owned. Oh, that hurts. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Underspins, tough conditions, getting small fish to bite, getting crappie to bite, getting the right fish to bite. They work. You need to check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you soon.